Do your own research and due diligence before investing in any company. The information I provide is in no way or manner a professional suggestion to purchase shares in any publicly traded company. I am not licensed to provide financial advice, and this should be considered entertainment. These stock profiles are intended to be trading ideas, a starting point for research. Any individual who chooses to invest in any securities should do so with caution. Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk. You may lose some or all the money that is invested. Always research your own investments and consider consulting with a registered investment advisor or a licensed stockbroker before investing. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Sal, man, in the building. I'm in the building. It's been a long day, running a little bit late, but I'm in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me. What's going on, everybody? Got people slowly coming into the chat room. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me. I am in the building, and today I've got a few things to put out there today. Closed the trade that we talked about toward the mid of November. I closed that trade today for a very nice profit. We had a couple stocks run today really strongly, and couple pullbacks on a lot of things that were on those third day. You know, the third day is always the hardest day. Let's go ahead and get the show started. Thank you for joining me. The third day is always, a red day typically after 2 days of gains, especially if there have been very, very aggressive gains. We saw pullbacks on all stocks, all the pennies that I had been watching anyway, that were on their third day. UNXL, VDRM, ENPH, WR, well, no, actually now not WRFX. That's something else I was planning and looking at. But I didn't see the volume in that today. What's going on, everybody? Londell Carter. Yeah, plenty of pullbacks today. What's going on, Connor? Random Pin, 00. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Callie, Mr. Lloyd, what's going on? Yeah, plenty of pullbacks today. What was really interesting was URRE ran today. URRE ran today toward the later part of the day. As we know what's going on in our world right now, we have the inauguration happening tomorrow. Inauguration day is tomorrow, so today is the last night of Obama's presidency. I can't, even imagine what could be going through his head right now, and as he's going into the next chapter of his life. And what begins now is the Trump presidency. A lot of people excited, a lot of people really nervous. But eventually we'll find out what it is to be living under a Trump White House very, very shortly. With that being said, the biggest gainer on the market today, I want to say, was DELT. Am I right? Because that was the one I was watching. Believe that was the biggest. BigStreet.com. Biggest gainers. And that's the one I'm watching actually for the reversal. That's going to be a really, really good short for me. I love when I see these $2, $1, $2, $3 stocks run hard because the pullback is coming. And yes, it was DELT. And this was a beautiful stock because you can get in both ways. DELT, as you can see here on the chart, strong morning in the stock after, the announcement of incredible Q4 numbers for the company. Very, 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 revenue increased over 130% for the company. And that's huge for a company with a market cap of, less than $4 million, which is, it doubled its market cap. It's at $8 million now. But a $4 million company trading on NASDAQ, and it comes out and says, hey, we increased our revenues over 120%, 130%. that's going to send the stock soaring, and sure enough, it did. The pullback did happen. They found the pullback at 154. It held it throughout the day and eventually bounced off. And I was looking at for the breakout after the, I want to say the midday high, I guess 11:30, 12 o'clock, midday high, and then looked for the breakout. And sure enough, it took that. And when I talk about, resistance becoming support, you see that throughout the chart where that, midday resistance eventually became support throughout the rest of the day. As you can see here, that was your entry there as you plot the chart as the chart, starts to create itself. And sure enough, we rested right back on that support line, which was at first resistance. So it's going to be interesting to see DELT hold that line, because if it breaks that, then we're going to test the 154 tomorrow. I do expect it to open up strongly tomorrow, because again, that's what all these stocks do that run up very aggressively. The next day, they fill up those orders. Some people who think they can possibly be a second day run, those orders get filled up. Now, after those orders get filled up, are there going to be other people who are going to be willing to support that new price? And that new price could be anywhere between $1.90 to possibly even $2, within the first 30 minutes of the stock. Will it hold, or will we come back to retest where we closed at today, or that 154 support level? So DELT, that was the biggest gain on the stock today. But I'm looking for that as a possible short, going back to the downside. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Besides that, again, URRE, I mean, absolutely incredible what this stock has been doing now over the last, 4 or 5 days. It's been a complete turnaround. This is a stock that gapped down. We thought it was a wrap, and sure enough, we're back to the gap now. We're practically back to the gap, and it's looking to, break out of January 13th, that daily high for that day. So, URRE looking to recover those lost gains here. You guys might want to take a look at URRE and see what, it can do for itself here. Looking for that 274 breakout to recover those gap down losses. All right. Huge move in URRE. Huge move in that. Hey, Michael, are you the Michael that sent me that email? I see Michael in the chat room. Are you the one that sent me that email? I got an email from Michael who wrote me about obviously the state of California legalized marijuana. And the state of California basically has a system now, or where they're trying to implement, where they want to record every single marijuana transaction that happens in the state. So that, I believe, also happens in Colorado, where basically you got to give them your address. They take down your name, address, blah, 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 and it's all kept in the system, right? That's what's happening in the state of California. So right now, there's no publicly traded company that we know of that's has any kind of business involving that. But the state of California is looking to take bids. They're looking to take bids from publicly traded and private companies, of course, to do that, kind of business. So I'm going to be looking to see whether or not these many marijuana companies that we know of that are based in California will entertain possibly bidding for that line of business with the state. But as I know, Michael, you said you had looked up some. There was no publicly traded company that you knew of right now that was in that line of business. Okay, so Michael, that is you. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much for that email. Appreciate that. Yeah, I was not able also to find that out, but we'll see. Maybe, over the next coming days, we'll see somebody step out and announce that they've gone ahead and submitted a bid for that. What's going on, Bill Betts? Yeah. All right, so let me get into the meat of my conversation I want to have with you guys today. If you guys, of course, have any tickers, we'll interrupt it and look at those stocks. But today, I wanted to talk to you guys about the sweet spot of penny stocks. And, it comes from a website that I discovered a long time ago. It's based off this guy who is a lawyer. He's got over 30 years of trading experience. He's got his own little, private wealth firm thing going on. They're called Sweet Spot Investments, and they've got a really good, theory about the way they trade. Very private company that manages wealth of very, very wealthy people. And the formula itself, it's not really necessarily a formula because there's no necessarily a math behind it, more of a theory. But basically the gist of it is that he's looking for sectors that are preferably beaten down, stocks that are incredibly, it's an incredible downward trend that's already practically occurred, and it is now beginning to kind of level off, right? So the potential rewards in taking a position in a company that is in that sector or in that, stock, or in that line of business, whatever, industry it is, the potential rewards outweigh the potential risk. At the sweet spot, the market is basically saying that things can't get any worse. And in fact, at this point, can things even get any better? But the idea is that if any more bad news emerges, the worst pretty much has already happened. So any further price declines are practically either less severe or already basically involved in the stock. So, but in hindsight, in reverse, if any news is unexpectedly good, the trend will reverse immediately upward, giving rise to a completely new market cycle in the stock. I mean, you guys kind of get what I'm saying? In fact, I want to give you an idea, and it came up to my mind to share this with you because, Mr. Lloyd, you had actually posted a chart very similar to what I'm going to show you. Let me see here because I created my own kind of version of what the sweet spot looks like. All right. And as you can see here, this is basically what it kind of looks like, right? So, of course, your cost is minimal. But the sweet spot is basically right where that lower yellow ball is. All right, gold ball is. That's basically your buy point where there's just, if any bad news happens, it is what it is. If any good news happens, that it automatically becomes an opportunity for the market cycle to begin a new trend, moving higher, going in, of course, the direction we want it to go. And again, this theory comes from Sweet Spot Investments. In fact, I'll give you let me see here. Let me give you guys the actual website I got this off of. And again, this guy's been trading for over 30 years. It's called literally the Sweet Spot Investment Strategy. All right. Let me give you guys in the chat room. Again, it's more mutual fund based, right? Because he kind of goes into sectors. I really hope I'm not confusing anybody when I'm speaking this, because sometimes it's hard to kind of get what I think and into your mind. But you can take some of the strategy and implement it in ways that work specifically, for penny stocks, all right, and individual issues, all right. So this is a deep value approach to investing, right? So much of all the risk, if you look at that chart, much of all the risk we would otherwise face has already been suffered by previous shareholders. All right. So our downside is very, very, very limited. If it does happen, it could happen, but our potential losses are a lot lower than individuals who had bought maybe when, the company was running good, because that's when a lot of people buy stocks, right? For example, URRE right now, we just got done talking about, in fact, let me not do that one. URRE, that could very well pull back at that 274 price, right? So a lot of people looked at URRE today, and the last 10 minutes, they're saying, oh, okay, wow, this is, let me go ahead and jump in there. But we know for people who've been trading for a while, it could very well, hit that 274 and come right back down. That might not necessarily be a high, probability trade for somebody. It might be a probability trade for you to lose money, not necessarily make it, because that breakout might not happen, right? So again, the deep value approach to investing in the sweet spot strategy would actually tell you should have bought right here, right? You should have bought right here. You should have probably bought the very low of this gap down here, as we see here on that RSI level, right? And basically any point in time where the RSI was pretty much, below 20 or below 30 level. So it's again that deep value approach to investing where you're limiting your downside risk and not necessarily chasing trades and say, oh, well, it's moving up, it's higher, let me jump on board. Okay. Right now, as the chart sometimes develops, you can't always, tell where you are in the sweet spot, because sometimes, if we could have been here, we don't know. It could have possibly be going lower. Of course, if we could always tell, okay, this is the lowest it'll ever go, we'd all be billionaires here. So in hindsight, you can always tell where it is, but you've got to be able to identify where, there is support for a low level price, and, be willing to risk, that, you're going into the stock at the right price or at the lowest price possible. All right. At the lowest price possible. Oh, am I talking to you guys? Okay. You guys see that? You guys see that here? When I was talking about URRE breaking out of that gap here that it suffered last week, right? So a lot of people would see this and they would say, wow, I'm jumping on top of this. But again, as we know, URRE could very well, break down here at that 274 breakout, right? It might not happen. It might not happen. So again, the sweet spot investment strategy talks about buying here, buying even here at that point when investors who are holding the stock or selling have done, practically the most and suffered the most damage. And your possible damage is very, very limited. All right. I'm really hoping I'm not going over everybody's heads. All right. 772, you're on the air. What's up?
What's happening, Sal? What's happening, Sal?
Hey, what's going on with you, man?
Not much, man. Not much. Let me see. ATRX and SSH, they both was down today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me see. The ATRX that opened up in the red, so automatically cashed out of that bad boy.
Okay.
And
let me see your stock real quick. ATRX, and we'll go back into what I was talking about. You said it was called ATRX.
Yeah, I think that was the one.
No, I'm not finding anything under ATRX.
Oh, hold on.
Let me see. I know SSH though. That's when Sunshine Heart had a real tough day today, down 19%. And this is kind of, this is really interesting because this is fitting right into what we're talking about here. Obviously, I still think that Sunshine Heart at $6 a share is still too expensive, honestly.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, but go ahead.
Oh, I would say, we thought it was going to do a nice outstanding pop today, but it did dropped. So I probably end up cashing out of SSH. But then again, you gotta understand. I mean, the bad boy was 18 cents,
Yeah.
And it went up, $8, $9. We thought it was gonna be like 10, going up to 10.
Well, it reverse split though. Remember, it was a 9-cent stock, and then it did that 1 for 10. So the company was always kind of going downhill. In fact, I'm pulling the chart back now. As you can see, it's been very, very bearish. The reverse split honestly didn't help. It's going to keep them trading on the NASDAQ, but for the most part, it's not helping the situation. I think it's only done, giving shorters more of a reason to stick around. So,
definitely.
I see possibly maybe even, $2, $3, $4 more being taken off Sunshine. This company's got a lot of issues with it, man. They've had. Last time I looked, I believe they've got 3 different CEOs in the last 4 years. And then, again, this was when I was looking at it when it was at like 22, 23 cents. So it's got some issues that they need to fix over there.
Well, that was the thing too. You know what I'm saying? I don't care, what the company does, but like I said, when the stock is going up, you know what I'm saying, that's when I'm in,
Yeah.
but at the time, SSH is one of those stocks, like, say you keep in the account, and you wake up and you're like, damn, I'm in the green. What happened,
Right.
And that's what happened today, A lot of traders, said that was in that. That, they woke up and the account was up and, just started cashing out. But, in the whole games, it is what it is.
Right.
So, like I said, I'm going to see what's up tomorrow, and I might be moving on. But the play, another one of my good plays that did stay running multiple days was ARTX.
ARTX, Aerotech, okay, Aerotech, ARTX, okay, 9% gain today. This is the 5-day. Let me spread it out a little bit here. Yeah, not too bad for ARTX here. The volume's pretty decent, just under 1 million. Decent volume today. It looks like it's headed in the right direction. And you believe it'll keep going.
Winners run, so I'm letting it run.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I said, they haven't disappointed me yet, but I don't know about you know how it is about the third day.
Yeah.
So I don't do indicators.
30-day chart.
What are your indicators about a third day run on this fat boy?
Well,
a fourth day run or something like that. Shit, I lost count on it.
Well, I mean, right now, I mean, it's had 2 pretty good days. I mean, for the most part, all your gains kind of happened today. I don't know how long you were in the stock, but all the gains pretty much happened today. The last couple of days are actually, in comparison to last week, were actually red days for the stock. So if you got in,
no, I was in there this week.
Yeah, so if you got in this week, obviously all your gains came today. What happens tomorrow, I can't tell you. But 9% gain today. Looks like I don't see any real news for any reason behind it, but that could have been just a situation where people stepped in here to buy some cheap those $4.20 shares there. So but not bad, man. Nice gain today on ARTX.
Yeah, and the little swing I did was BASI. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna be a multiple day run also, but if it's keep giving me gains, I'm gonna hang in there.
BASI. Okay, so this is a penny stock, clearly 90 cents a share, 28% gain today. This was clearly just looked like somebody coming in, just taking some large buys going through here. So yeah, no news was responsible for this one.
The board says people wanted to jump in.
Yeah, let me spread the chart out a year a little bit. Okay, so it's been in a bit of a funnel here. I'm seeing basically since November. But again, this is this is one of those nice stocks if you could have picked up, at that lower end of the RSI there at 65 cents. That would have been really nice. Stock looks to be churning a little bit, and some nice increased volume coming into the stock here in comparison to some months prior. So something's happening there. Some investors are interested. We'll see what happens with the stock moving forward.
Yeah. I'm see what tomorrow on ARTX and BSI. Like I said, I mean, I don't know about the BSI. I just jumped in it, but see what's up tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. I'll definitely put that on the stock to watch list for tomorrow.
You got it, brother.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the call, man.
Yep.
All right, so shout out to Treasure Hunter. Treasure Hunter, I'm not sure about that SSH, man. I would leave that alone. SSH it's got a lot of work that needs to be done, and that reverse split ain't helping things, man. I think you're gonna be losing some money if you stick in there any longer, right? But this one looks really nice because it kind of goes back to what we were talking about. Very, very bearish, right, situation, and now it kind of looks very similar to this. So I'm thinking could still break down because it looks these look very, very similar setups here. So it found a support price, eventually broke it. In fact, I would probably even go ahead and set, what was that right there, 63. So we'll see. We'll get the retest, the breakout. Some people might say it's actually higher. I should put it up here, but I'm going to actually set it right here, that 99 cents level. And if we go ahead and, hit this as a wall and then retest 63, that might be a buy. Or again, like it did, what was this? Almost 2 months ago. it broke down. So we'll see. All right. I hope I'm not going too fast for people. I feel like I'm going really fast. All right. Dre, Gary, you said what's the situation on CEO Tony Miller? I don't have any problem with him. I don't understand why people have an issue with Tony Miller and what he's doing with his company. People are saying stock scams. If the guy was running a stock scam, he'd be in prison. But my thing is, if the guy runs pumps to grow up is to build his companies and build his stock up, I want to be in that stock. I don't give a damn about the company 5 years from now, 2 years from now. I know that a pump is coming. I know he uses pumps, and I want to be positioned in the stock. When that pump happens, I profit and move on with my day. I'm not looking to be in the company 5 years from now, 2 years from now, not even 6 months from now. I'm looking because I know he submitted new financials in December. On Tuesday, he got a lawyer to submit that the financials were accurate. On today, they announced that the company was current. So I know what's going to happen. Now he's going to run a pump to build up the stock, and I want to be a part of that. I don't care if it's a scam. 630, you're on the air. What's up?
Yeah, I want to ask about. I've been looking at the financials for this company called ABNT.
ABNT.
It's got really good financials, but for some reason the stock is not doing well. I would like to know, any answers or views or opinions about why.
You said it's AB as in Bob?
A-D as in dog.
Oh, D, okay. D-N-T. All right, and you said it's got really good financials. Okay, so $63 stock. Kind of out of my league in terms of what I would be looking at. But what do you like about it?
No. It's A is in apple, D is in dog, M is in man, T is in Tom.
Hold on here.
I've been looking at the financials.
Let me see. Does you guys have the? Because I feel like I'm hearing what you're saying, but it's not coming up. ADN.
M is in man.
Okay. All right. So ADMtronics. All right. And you said the financials were good for this? Let's see. OTC. I think we've talked about this in the past. Okay. So, yeah, profitable company. I do see that here. Developer, manufacturer, diversified lines of products, design, manufacture of electronics. Now, what exactly do they do as a line of business?
I believe they make medical parts.
Okay. Now the situation
for
with this though, there's practically no volume. I mean, the stock really hasn't done anything recently. What makes you feel like this would be something to play right now?
To me, it seems like it's got a good corporate structure. Like I said, they're doing good numbers. I think the business has been around since 1969. The father died and the son took over. I can't remember the guy's name. He's an Italian guy that's running the company now, and he's like, he seems like a real, honest fellow to me. He's an activist for Italian American rights, and everything about this country looks beautiful to me. But I don't understand why it's not doing volume.
Well, because investors really don't care about the what the CEO is and what they're doing with it. What's the catalyst here? What's going to happen in the near future that's going to send this stock higher? That's what people care about. What do you think is going to happen? Has there been any the people behind it in terms of have they done anything in the past, or do you feel there are some acquisitions, or what do you feel there's been any news to generate the kind of momentum that's going to to send this stock higher? Because I'm looking at the stock and it's been practically trending between 16 to 25 cents for almost 2 years.
Yeah, that's what I understand. But they're profitable. They're making money.
Sure.
I believe they've got some sort of pain relief, some sort of pain relief injection technology going on using CO2. I know they got a few patents out there on a couple of items. And like I said, they've been profitable and doing good for years. I really don't understand why people aren't jumping all over this.
I mean, we can say that about it. Yeah, we can say that about a lot of companies, man. But at the end of the day, you know, people don't really look at that. They're looking for opportunities to get in, make some money, and move on to the next thing. Very few people are like you or like other people who plan to find a stock and be in it and you know, play the story. You know, for instance, there are a lot of people who just don't play the story anymore because people are jaded. I mean, we've been in situations where companies have lied about financials, lied about what they're doing, you know, completely misrepresented themselves. So now it's about finding opportunities. You know, are they going to buy a business? Are they going to be bought themselves? Are they going to, you know, make a new contract with a company or the government, or, you know what I'm saying? You got to play it from that angle, right? So a short-term angle that, you know, that's the way people are trading right now. Okay.
Right. I get it. Thanks a lot, man. I've been watching you for a short time and I get what you're saying. I appreciate it. And keep it up, man. You're doing a good job.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the call, man. All right. So shout out to that caller, 630 for the call, man. Shout out to you. Appreciate that. Good call from him. So, yeah, I mean, that's you know, again, you don't want to, you know, invest too highly in the story. You know, you're looking for the catalyst. You know, what's the story in terms of, you know, is there something going to happen soon? You know, that's what I want to play. Because these companies, you got to understand, 90% of these companies they won't even exist, you know, 3, 4, 5 years from now. We can look and pull up graveyards of stocks. You can just look at my videos. Look at some of my videos in the past that I promoted for. These companies are gone. Many of these companies are gone. Mr. Lloyd, 206, what's up?
What's up, brother? Hey, what's going on, everybody, man? I feel like I ain't slept in about 2 days, man. So if I'm talking goofy, man, just let me know, okay?
Not a problem. Go ahead, man.
All right, so I haven't called in a while about an OTC play. You know, I've been strictly focusing on options. So for my OTC people out there, I might even consider playing this, man. Even though I know it's a pump and dump,
okay,
and it's a scam, but it's priming up. It looks like in my eyes. So.
Okay.
Go ahead. So it's Lima Echo Xylophone X G as in George LEXG.
LEXG. Okay, Lithium Explorers Group. Okay, so this I've heard about this one. Because it's done some things in the past here.
Right.
I've heard of this company.
Now the financial stuff.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure the financials are horrible. But, yeah, I mean, look, if you caught it again, when you're playing safe and you're getting at these bottoms, man, look where it is now. Incredible gain today. What's going on with this, man?
There's probably a pump going on. I mean, the financials suck balls, man, and then they got a lot of shares. So, you know, if you guys are getting these type of plays, now I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm gonna tell you from my own experience, you have to know what that person is putting in. If I say, hey, I'm getting in, but I'm throwing in $8,000, all I need is a couple of notches up before I get my profit. But if you're putting in $100 and trying to get that move, you're going to get stuck with the bag. So you got to learn how to play these things. Now, the last 3 days in this stock, today's trade value was 1,700,000.
Well, hold on, Mr. Lloyd, because I would actually, you know, be on the other side of that argument with you on that, because I honestly think that if you have, you know, you don't necessarily. That's why penny stocks works, because you don't need to have $8,000 to make money. You're right. If you only have $200, that 70% gain it made today, you still profited on that. So,
but you know, I guess the expectation is when you put in 200, you want 10,000.
Oh,
and
sure. Yeah.
And that's the expectation that I had when I was putting in $100. Everybody said, "Oh, I'm making bank, so I threw my $200 in there. I only get $25, and then I don't take the $25. Now I'm stuck with 100,000 bags."
Mm-hmm.
So,
if you're putting in, for those of you guys who are putting in, because I'm going to show you a trade I closed today, but if you're putting in, yes, less than $1,000, then you're going to be the kind of investor that's going to have to hold for 3-digit type gains for you to be able to turn those couple hundred into a couple thousand. But if you're the type of guy who can get in here at $2,500, at 0017, right? You walking away with what? Maybe 3, 4, 5 million shares, and it does what it does, today, then yeah, you're walking away with, $22,000, $23,000. If you got the volume, you're going to be able to clear your shares and walk away with a huge gain. Yes, you do. Yes, you
right.
can.
And that big pullback right there today. I mean, if you really think about it, those guys that felt for the last pump and dump, the shorted it down, and the people that got sucked in there, now they held it back from this. What is that? Like November to a few got out in early January. Is that what that was? And then that second pump there. So I don't know about a big pullback, but the only thing I don't like about these type of charts, man, is that I never know. There's no logic as to when to really get out. Basically, you need to make your money and pull out as soon as you feel comfortable, because you just don't know who's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So today, the trade value was $1.7 million. The day prior was $387,000, and the day prior to that was $466,000. Now, on 113, the trade value was only $30,000. So definitely, there's more money coming into this.
Yeah.
So this may be a start of something, but definitely, I don't know. I haven't played a play like this since NEWC, but it looks pretty good for priming. I mean, the market makers probably set this up to get people like you and me enticed to jump up in there because we think it's going to make some huge gains. So we'll see, man.
It's not even that. It's exactly what you said. It's a pump. Some, they've a promoter's been paid somewhere. It could be mailers that are out. But information has been been put out to say that this company is worth buying, and the smart people who were buying when this company wasn't really doing shit or it bottomed out, now they're winning. And the bag holders are the people who are who wait till stocks advance and they're looking at this 00075 and they're like, oh man, I'm gonna jump all over this. Where you really should have been that investor jumping in here at that 0017, 0016. That should have been you. So yeah, man.
Right.
If you're already in this and you were part of that huge win today, I'm sure tomorrow, who knows what's going out, you might be able to get another 20, 30%, who knows, and walk out with a nice gain. Yes, indeed.
Right. So I ain't gave no play in a while, so I had to share that with you. And so CBSI, man, I didn't want to take no chance. It looks like it closed at 53 today, but I went ahead and closed out at 52 because it just looked like it was stalling out. And Lord knows I can't sit here and hold the bag for 2 or 3 months. And let me just for my personal experience, and you guys listen that started out, I dumped $1,900 into the stock, a penny stock, and moments later, I was down $300 or $400, and I said, I'm gonna just wait around. It's gonna go back up again. Marijuana, the stocks is running. Next thing you know, the whole market crashed, and I was down like $600. So I was holding the bags from when was that? When was the summertime the pumps were going?
That was September.
Yeah.
August. Yeah, about September.
Right. So I sold at the top, and I bought back in on the way down when it made that. I went back. So yeah, I bought it. I sold at the top, and then when it rolled back down, and it looked like it was going back up again. I said, "Hey, I'm getting in on that second leg down on the right side," and it went up a little bit. Okay. And I got back in, and next thing you know, I went to work, and the shit was down, and so I just sold out today. So it looks like a nice little cup and handle right there. You see that?
Yeah, it's developing. I mean it's developing. It's trying to. I can't tell you that it's going to try and attempt that 95 cents again, but again, we know these stocks go in these cycles. So it's developing little stairs here, and it could be doing something here again, but nice gain today, 8% gain for the stock.
Right. Well, cool, Sal. Hey, man, I appreciate it. I'm glad I was able to contribute something. It's been a while, so let's see where this LEXG goes tomorrow. I might even put $100 in there. So let me ask you a question, just from your personal experience. What type of gains? I mean, we all invest in penny stocks, but typically, is there a certain limit that you may put in? Because I was foolish to throw $1,900 into a penny stock. I mean, have you ever thrown that much into a penny stock?
Never. My top, never. No, top is typically $750. I never throw 4 digits or higher into a penny stock ever. That's just for what? Why would you? If shit happens or you get halted or I can lose a couple $100, right? But I'm not throwing in 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Again, penny stocks works because the percentage move, right?
Right.
It multiplies your original deposit. So original investment. So you put in $500, right? The idea is to turn around and maybe sell for $1,100, $1,200, $1,500. Maybe if you get in a couple months kind of gain or something like that, right? Or even another $300, $400. So it's not. Right. It's not to, go in with, $4,000 and then all of a sudden, because you might not get that volume. You might not get that volume to sell all those shares. You coming in with $5,000, $6,000 on the stock, you got what, 20 million shares, 30 million shares? That's not going to clear in 3 seconds. That's not going to clear. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to clear at that. So I know if I go in with a $300, $400, maybe even sometimes $100 position, if I think it's not going to do anything soon, I know that I have enough shares that even if it goes higher, right, and now momentum starts coming in and we got more buyers, I still have a small enough a position where I'm going to get the volume that I need to get out quickly, instant execution. Right. And I'm not scaring anybody on level 2, because a lot of those guys, if you notice, you scared some of those guys on level 2 when you show up there with 5 million shares looking to get out. They're looking at that and they're like, what the hell's going on here? Do I need to sell too?
Right. You see the market makers right behind it, getting ready, like night, getting ready to move up, and all of a sudden everybody gets scared, and so panic selling starts. But I just want to reiterate, you got 115 people here, man, and I just want to share something for the new people out there. Trading stocks is awesome, man. It's a good feeling knowing that you can make some money. But please educate yourself in the stocks that you're getting into, because everybody goes to the boards and try to check to see what's going on with the stock. Why is it so cheap? And I'm gonna be honest with you. I got sucked into it. I got suckered in letting somebody tell me about a stock. And I didn't do the research myself, and so I depended on the boards to kind of educate me if I should buy and sell. If you're going to invest a large amount of money, take the time to really look into the financials, because one guy say, they got $5.8 billion dollars in mines, and then you go look at the financials and they only got $30 in the bank. So how are they able to operate? So you guys need to educate yourselves on that. And I know it seems like it's hard and you don't have time for it. Well, basically, if you don't have the time for it, then you shouldn't be investing, because basically you're just putting your money. You might as well just take $100 out of your pocket, go to the toilet, and put it in there and flush it down, because that's where the money's going. So yeah, man, that's all I wanted to share. Just I'm glad that Tim Sykes video, even though it was a bunch of videos, man, but I really got to give Michael Good a shout out, man, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have any knowledge about 10Qs, and I would have continued going to the boards and having somebody interpret a document that I could have read myself, but I was too lazy to go do it because I thought it was too hard. Yeah. So, and the reality is, once you start doing it over and over again, the first time is going to suck because 3,000 pages.
Yeah.
But when you start going through it, you will understand within. I can look at it through a financials within 20 seconds and tell you it's bullshit or the person who's pumping it is full of shit. So take the time to research what you're getting into. And if you guys want to talk about it, if you need some help, let me know. I mean, I can definitely give you some resources, but just don't throw your money in the dark. All right, Sal.
Appreciate it. Thank you so
Thank
much
you, man.
for
I
calling,
appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, so shout out to Mr. Lloyd for the call. Shout out to him for the call. Always a good call.
Jordan to the crossover. Yes.
Yes, indeed. So shout out to Mr. Lloyd for the call. Michael, I know you want the ticker on the background, but dude, I took the ticker off on the background, and now I can't remember where to put it back onto the background. Like I can't remember how I did it. So if you know, let me know. I saw somebody in the chat room talking about USCI. I don't want to spend too much time on USCI, but as some people have already brought up in the chat, look at the CEO. The guy is notorious for buying these penny stock companies and paying promoters to jack up the price of the stock. I want in on that. I have 2 videos out that I made in 2014 where USCI turned around and made me a killing. All right, based on the way that this guy operates. I know he operates. So when I see people in the chat room saying, I want to know if I should sell for what? You got in at 006. If you were smart and you got in where I showed you to get in. Now we're at 0010. We'll pull back today, which was understandable because it was the third day. We had 2 60% days in the stock. So the pullback was reasonable. All right. But there's been no pump. I just been talking about it. Right. So I know this CEO is a shady character, but I want to play that pump. So, and I know it's going to happen, and I want to win on that. What Mr. Lloyd just showed you is, again, LE, what was that? That's let me look at that stock again. LEXG. Same, right? Look, the same thing. A stock that's been pumped several times, right? Goes out of favor, nobody's playing, and all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. We do this just over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. 510, you're on the air. What's up? 510, you there?
Hello?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
Who am I speaking with?
This is A. Brantley.
Oh, what's going on, hey, Brantley?
I'm doing good, man. Did you see Tesla move today?
No, I didn't. I did not look at any optionable stocks at all today. But what was that move on Tesla? In fact, let me pull it up here. TSLA, I believe, right? Yes, it is. Oh, yeah, shit. Man. Okay, $5. Okay, yeah, I bet them options were that shit was real nice on the options. Then I'm guessing.
Yeah, I went all in on my account, man. It was kind of risky, but it all paid off at the end.
I bet it did. I mean, that move was nice today. Let me go on the 1-day chart. So that gap up really happened yesterday. So really, to make money, you had to be in it yesterday, right? So it looks like you had to be in it.
I played it today. I played on the put side.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So then that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so because the chart it obviously went up, but it was because of the gap up, but for the most part, for the rest of the day, it pretty much trended lower. But yeah, if you got in at that top, man, and played that put, that's nice. That's a nice move.
Yeah, it was a nice play. And then I'm looking at another one. I was watching CSX today. It's another option play.
CSX, that's the trucking company. I mean the train, all right, or something like that.
I'm not too sure what it is.
Yeah, it should be. I think it's a train company. But okay, yeah, that's a nice one too. $8 move today in the stock, gapped up higher as well. What was responsible for the gaps?
It had news. I forget who what's it called? They evaluated them at a higher price, and then in the pre-market it went crazy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
I forgot who it was though, but they're up on good news right now, and I'm thinking tomorrow it might be a red day because then right now it's too. They did the price that they evaluated them. It's like way off that. They're way above that right now.
Okay. Yeah, because that whatever that was, man, that really made it move, man. Because that's a nice little gap up in the stock that heavy. Typically when you see stocks that are $40 and up, gap higher, typically that's maybe earnings win or possible, merger news or rumor. But that's a big gap there. So really solid move on CSX today.
Yeah, I was checking. I found out too that they got some insiders selling their shares right now. So I think also they think it's going to tank too. That's why I'm so confident that it's going to see some more red days pretty soon coming up.
Okay. Now you said more red days in CSX?
Yeah, I think it's too high, man.
Okay. Yeah. Oh no, that's reasonable. Yeah, I mean 23% in one. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's going to pull back a little bit. That should be expected. Yes.
And then for penny stocks, I was watching Dell today. I made a nice little scalp play today on them.
Yeah, DLT. That's way overextended, and yeah, that should be coming back over the next. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, then it'll definitely happen the day after that. I'm waiting for the pullback in DLT. 96 today. I mean, actually got up to about 106%. I believe was the high. The range was 228. It got up to almost $2.30 today. So I mean, I remember looking at it, it was almost like 115%. With cool down. Yeah, solid play. Cool down toward the end, but yeah, it was a badass play for a lot of people.
And I was gonna ask you, are you still messing with Shirt Trader?
You know what? I signed up with the account, but I never funded it. In fact, the only reason I started messing with Shirt Trader is because Connor in the chat room started messing with Shirt Trader, and I was thinking, okay, well, it'd probably be a good place to go to, short some of these, penny plays that were hot at the time because the marijuana stocks had gone, insane. But
right.
I'm not messing with them now. Don't really have a reason to now. But are you signed up with them now?
I know I've been thinking about it because the leverage is kind of nice.
Oh man, that's kind of dangerous when you're talking about their 6-to-1 leverage that they offer. I know that they don't offer the 6-to-1 leverage on penny stocks. I know they offer it on the
$3 and up,
right, $3 and up, and I think their NASDAQ NYSE plays. And I mean, leverage though, it can work for you, can work against you. Leverage, especially when it goes against you, man, it eats up your account like nothing else.
Yeah, I know.
From examples that I've seen.
I used that leverage today on Tesla, man.
Oh, you did. Oh, okay, yeah. So
no, I'm saying if I had it.
Oh yeah, man. If you had it, now I don't know if they offer the leverage on options, but I know if you had got in on the shares, I mean, for example, you'd be able to afford a lot more than you otherwise would. But again, if it would have gone against you, then that would have sucked.
Right.
So, appreciate it, man. Yeah. Thank you so much for the call, A. Brantley.
No problem, man.
All right, so shout out to A. Brantley. Yeah, Connor's in the chat room saying be careful on that. First day, good news. People loved it. Yeah, I agree with you, Connor. I believe it could be giving some of that back pretty soon here on CSX. All right, those gap up. That's a really big gap, man. That's a big gap, and that kind of breaks down some reasonable fundamentals that need to be made up there. So yeah, that pullback should be happening here pretty soon. All right. Looks like Mr. Lloyd's got some things he wants to say. Mr. Lloyd, you're on the air. What's up?
Hey man, I forgot to give one last play, and just for shits and giggles, RCII.
Okay.
Rent-A-Center.
RCII. I haven't heard of Rent-A-Center in a minute.
I know. But this thing is very volatile, man, and this is more like reminds me of your sprint play. So I had a gap down today. And you know how is that today's?
Yeah, this is the 1-day chart in Rent-A-Center. Here's the gap over here where it came down, and then so
it's 1 day. I see.
Yeah, that's the 1-day chart.
Okay. Yeah. So. I mean, I actually bought some. I bought some calls in this. It was real cheap.
Okay.
However, I bought the calls for. Let me take a look here. 1 second here. RCII. I bought 3 calls for February the the 17th, and I paid.
What's your strike?
I don't even know. Strike is $10.
Okay, we're talking about RCII. All right, so yeah, it just broke off from $10. So okay, all right.
Yeah, so yeah, with that gap down, if you look at the previous, if you go back to a 3-month chart, let me see if it's 3 months. I was just looking at the NVFY chart, and basically it had another gap down, and you can see. Give me 1 second. Can you go to a year?
Yeah, I see the gap down here that you're talking about. It definitely wasn't
yes, there it is.
It definitely wasn't.
No, over here to the left. To the left. Wait, to the left.
Well,
the military left.
Let me see here. Well, this gap down was today. This is today. This was today. The gap down that you're looking at. Okay, so further left. Okay, so you're talking about this right here back in.
No, that's right that you're going. I'm talking about left.
Oh.
That gap.
Hold on. There are two here. There's one that happened November 15th,
yes.
And then there's one that happened in December. Which one are you talking about?
Right, that one right there, that big gap right there. Basically, what I'm showing here is that the stock has, and there's another gap right at the bottom. It has a tendency to move up once it gaps down. Look at the one before that. You see the other gap way at the bottom?
Yeah, I see that gap
on the left side.
At the bottom. That was a beautiful gap down. If you would have caught that one, that's a nice little return there, almost a $2.
And look at the other one, right there. Yeah, right there.
It's a nice one.
So it looks like it's a continual pattern, and there's one right above it, right above your mouse, with the big long red candle.
Yeah, there's one right here. There's one right here.
Right. So I think this might be a nice little play for you, man. And look it's oversold.
It is oversold on the RSI. That is correct. It is oversold on the RSI.
It's going to go back up. So, anyways, man, that's my gift to you and 100 people that are here today. So just keep your eyes on it. I got in today, and look at that candle, man! That's a bullish engulfing right there for today. So, that's gonna be a sexy ride up.
That looks real nice. And what's really interesting about it is that when it does gap down, it does work its way back up higher. Right. So you can buy. You've seen it on every single gap down. It always made a little comeback after that.
Right. So I paid $70 for $70 for my 3 calls, and I got my sell order in for $1 or $1.50. So I'm anticipating $150 for my $70 investment.
Okay. That's a pretty good return. That's a good return.
No, actually, I mean, hold on 1 second. So $1.50 per contract. So whatever. You're gonna have to maybe do some math here.
Yeah, you might want to use that option calculator that you sent me. That's a good website, though. That's a good website, though.
Right. It is. So, give me 1 second here. So, $450 for a $70 investment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, options are good, but you can play. I know you like to play these little high price stocks, in the $8 range. So you can play either way.
I like what I'm seeing though on this stock though too. It was a good call by you, and I think you're gonna make a money back on this.
Well, I just wanted to share some love, man. It's been a while, so there's my gift. Make sure you send me a code 45, okay, when you make that money.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for the call, Mr. Lloyd.
All right, thanks. All right, bye.
All right. So getting back to what we had kind of started the show with, I don't know if you guys remember, for those of you guys who've been watching for a while, we had a company that I talked about. It was a software company back in November that had changed its name. All right, ticker was CYBF. And I tweeted this out, and we talked about it on that show. I tweeted about it the next day. As you can see here, here's proof. All right. And, I talk about it on the show. No shameless plug. I do say one thing, Sal. Joe's always says for these penny stocks, if it has a stop sign, do your research. Yes, you're right, Investors Hangout. That's correct. You're right. You always want to do your research on the stop sign. All right. But that USCI, I knew that stop sign was about to disappear. But that was different. But yes, CYBF. I talked about this on November 16th. You guys know what I love is looking at the news on OTC markets, because I love looking at companies that change either the name of the company, because that typically means new ownership. All right, that typically means new ownership. And I like looking at basically maybe new financials, an update to the tier status. All right, maybe going from skull and crossbones to limited status, or going from, limited information to current. I love trading stocks like that. CYBF was a situation we came out there 15 cents a share, if I remember correctly. All right, I want to open up my E-Trade Pro, but I don't want to slow down the stream. But again, you can look on the chart for yourself and see where happened here. November 16th, we should be like right in here somewhere. I think we were like actually about 15 cents a share. All right, what was that? Like, yeah, somewhere between 13 and about 14.50 or so. But I believe total came out to 15 cents a share, the average of all the shares that were in the stock. All right, so not the most liquid, but it had some trades. All right, it had some trades. And again, when these companies change names, right, the gain at the end of the day was about 320% for me in the stock. But again, when these companies change names, when they submit updated filings and it's been dormant for some time, those are stocks you want to get in. Those are stocks you want to get in. Again, that's why I wanted to talk about this sweet spot, ideology of trading, getting into stocks that are beat up, that haven't been doing anything. This was a shell company that had just basically been reverse mergered into, not actually reverse merged, just basically been taken over and then rechanged the name, new ownership, all that. And you can look into the filings for all that proof. But CYBF, Cyberfort Software, small company that actually is trying to do something out there. Really don't care what the business is. I just knew something was going to happen. All right. Did I fucked up the chart again? You guys know what I'm talking about. Here's the chart here. I keep forgetting to remove the damn things every time I do that. Let me give myself a oh shit.
Oh shit!
You see, I keep forgetting to do that. Anyway, here's where we got in, or where I talked about it on the show. All right, I know most of you guys think I'm a scam, so you don't ever follow me on my trades. But I talked about it here. Told you, hey, this is going to be a stock that's going to run. All right, some people got in, some people didn't. But I did get some emails today from some people. Hey, man, can we, it looks like it's leveling out now. And yes, close that. All right, big gain for people who jumped in with that. All right. So with that being said, let me see here. What was disappointing today, man, Dries, man. What's going on with Dries? But you know what, man? I'm looking for, I can't wait till Dries runs again. I don't know what happened to Dries today, but I can't wait to Dries. But I was watching Dries literally collapse today. I'm like, what the hell's going on with Dries? But you know what? I can't wait till this stock gets to the bottom. I'm all over DRYS because I know what it can do. All right? I know what it can do. It said reverse stock split announced. When is that going to take place? Actually, okay, I see the news article here too. Yeah, I did a quick browse. I'm like, oh shit, it's down. I didn't have time to really look at it. But I can't wait till that thing finds a bottom, and I hope it gets some sympathy maybe as soon as tomorrow, based on that 36% move. It could get sympathy as soon as tomorrow. DRYS. All right, here was the move today. So the information came out this morning, and basically here was the move. So DRYS could be a new nice little move for somebody tomorrow morning. All right, that could be a sympathy play. Roscoe, you think it's dried up? We'll see. But obviously all the money is moved into GLBS when we talk about shipping. GLBS, 20% gain on the stock. Again, GLBX, one of those stocks that, got bearish, but for whatever reason found some investors today at 705, 706, and took it up higher. All right. Yes, indeed. There's one marijuana play I looked at today. Very interesting stock that's been doing so well. CBIS. Man, CBIS has been on a tear. CBIS has been on a tear. I got to give this the cha-ching. I mean, CBIS is up. I think you're. Let me see. Depending on where you got in at, you should be at about 90, maybe 95% if you've been in CBIS from last week. You're up almost 90% in the stock alone in CBIS. All right, CBIS has been on a tear. Not sure where all this momentum is coming for or what's justifying it, but I know some of you guys were in the stock before, but yeah, it's going nuts. It's going nuts. It's going nuts. Jacob, I'm in it for the long haul. I'm in it till I see a serious pump. I've said it very many times on Twitter that my exit for USCI is 0055. 0055. All right, and I'm looking at 0055 because that's, with a good pump, which I know the CEO is known for, because again, I've already lived through some of his pumps, and again, you can go through and do your research on his background. He's notorious for pumping stocks of companies that he runs. It's a reasonable and reachable level for USCI. All right, California-based MJ play, not necessarily selling marijuana, but hemp-based play. All right, and I'm looking for about 90-day window, 90-day to 120-day window for this to occur. All right. Very similar to what I just did in CYBF. All right. And again, I have only a couple $100 in it. I'm not, it's not nothing that I'm got $3,000 sitting on. It's a couple $100. And, turn it into a couple thousand. Just keep doing that over and over again. All right. In my account, I've got maybe 10, 11 positions in stocks that aren't doing shit, but I know can do something. 808. What's up?
Hello?
808, are you there?
Can you hear me?
All right, man.
Oh, shit!
In fact, I paid the warrant one. Let me play.
Let me continue.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm outside.
Oh, shit.
All right. There we go. And what's going on there? So, so CBIS, not bad play for CBIS. What I hope will have maybe a similar is MCOA. MCOA is a stock that I got the buy alert on, but I didn't take advantage of it. I probably should have. MCOA. And this is, in fact, let me spread the chart out, because MCOA, if you again, MCOA is another stock that was a 00 stock, right? MCOA was a 00 stock as recently as September. As recently as September, stock got up to a high of almost 14 cents. In fact, the 52-week is actually 19 cents. All right, and this was as recently as September, a 0050 stock. 0050 stock trading at 19 cents a share. That's a gain of almost a little bit over less than 3,000% or something like that. So, again, the opportunities are out here. All right. This is CBIS. This is the 5-day chart. I got the buy alert, but I didn't jump on it. It had some other things going on there. But CBIS is, again, when we talk about support turning into resistance turning into support, So as we can see here, was that resistance at 0.76. Finally, tried to break through it, didn't make it happen. And in fact, there we go. It actually starts back here, where I thought this would be a nice breakout to go in at that 0707. It finally broke out, came back, actually used it as support. new resistance line, came back, tested as support. So, resistance always eventually, we see that very often in these penny stocks, how resistance eventually becomes support when the pullback occurs. All right. Very interesting way to kind of figure out where you want to be in with a lot of these stocks. All right. Very, very interesting way. So I'm watching MCOA. I'm very well watching MCOA because if it cracks that 802, I'm trying to jump all over this one because this could be very well the next CBIS if that momentum carries over from that stock. 703, you're on the air. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Sal? How are you?
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
Oh, good. It's me, Master 82. I want to apologize for last night and that bullshit, crook shit.
Yes, okay, Master 82. All right, yeah. Thank you for your donation, man. I appreciate that very much. And I think I had sent you an email about sending me your YouTube channel because I try to look for you. I guess, I don't know, do you have a channel on YouTube?
No, I don't. I usually just watch videos.
Okay, all right. So I make a comment on one of my videos because I get all the comments. So make a comment, and then I'll be able to...
I did one on the night that I did it, like 108.
108?
No,
okay.
At 110, sorry, the one last night.
110, okay. Go back on 110 and make another one because when I looked at 110 just before I came on the show, I didn't see any comments. So if you can make another one, then I'll go ahead and unblock you, man. But that's just, again, that's one of the things that, I've told people is just, I don't want to, to the chat room to be negative, you know what I mean? So we keep that. We got a lot of new people, a lot of people who've never traded before, trading for the first time. So,
I feel you.
Right. So, all right, man. Appreciate it. I'm glad you know that then.
And good. Hey, that's the question I want to ask you was, have you ever tried Short Trader?
I haven't tried it. I've signed up for it, never used it. I know we got people in the chat room who've tried Sure Trader. I mean, if you Google it yourself, there are horror stories, and there are people who, kiss the ring and say it's the best thing ever. So it's really a mixed bag. But, when they charge you to take your money out, that, for me, bothers the hell out of me. Now, when you talk about doing wire transfers and all that, that's obviously cost anywhere. But, the fact that you charge me $45 for, I believe, an ACH, that's kind of ridiculous, and that bothers me in itself. But there are a lot of other little fees there, too, that, rub me the wrong way. But there are people who swear by it and, really like Sure Trader. So
I understand because I've made maybe a couple $1,000, and the way you do the stock with the triple zeros, with those, that's beautiful for me because I can buy a lot of shares.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Share Trader is good for me because I'm thinking because of the what is it called, the DMT rule.
Okay. Yep. You can trade without any PDT restrictions. So instead of
that one,
I'm
trying to raise my money to 25,000, so I don't have to worry about that. But because of that rule, you can only do 2 or 3 trades per day or per week. My bad. But with the Share Trader, they don't charge you that because it's out of the country.
Yep.
It's like a Caribbean, something like that.
Right. That's exactly right because it's not based in the United States. So, yeah, you can trade there, with as much as you want.
Sure. Okay.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for the call, Master 82. And, yeah, don't forget to post another comment for me.
I'll do it tomorrow morning after you're done with this live show then.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the call, man.
Thanks for your help.
All right. So, yeah, appreciate the Master 82, man. And, shout out to him, man. Just called up and said, I messed up and, it is what it is, man. So appreciate the contribution. And, yeah, if you guys like the show, too, donate to the show, man. I'm looking to upgrade this motherboard on this computer. And please don't make me pass out a collection plate. Ladies and gentlemen, I will do so. But, yes, indeed. So if you like the show, make a contribution. All right. OPTT went up 20, then went down, holding at 303. You said you're holding at 303 OPTT? Let me see here, man. Holding at OPTT. I use E-Trade. OPTT 305. let me spread the chart out a little bit. Let me see a 1-year chart in OPTT. You guys remember OPTT had an amazing summer this year, but so far OPTT has pretty much been holding at that 3 level. It actually probably is a pretty good, buy right now at this 3. But the only thing is that 52-week high, 52-week low of 97 cents, that actually, where was that at? Was that? I don't know where that 52-week high, 52-week low comes from. I don't see 97 cents on this chart. Yeah, I'm not sure when that was. But so far, it looks like it's been holding the 3s very, very well. Let me put the bands on there and see where. All right, so yeah, we got tightening of the bands there, as you can see here on OPTT. So looks like something could be happening there at OPTT. If you're already in, that's probably pretty nice. I see the Bollinger Bands are at the tightest it's been in a long time. And the last time we saw OPTT this tight, in fact, I remember talking about this. I believe I talked about this yesterday. You can see the stock isn't on my personal radar. But the last time we talked, I see the bands this tight was in May of last year. And obviously we know what happened after that. Not saying that could happen again, but we know that when the bands tighten on stocks like that, that obviously means that a very powerful move could be occurring. All right. So shout out to a guy who brought up OPTT. Nice move there. Nice move there. All right. Oh, let me close that up. What was that? All right. Appreciate it. All right. So let me see here. There was a clinical stage biotech cancer drug that recently got a new CEO that I wanted to talk about. SRRA. SRRA, NASDAQ play. Okay, it's NASDAQ play, so it's not a penny play. The company failed an FDA situation back in June. Hold on, Treasure. Oh, let me see. Is this? Hey, Treasure Hunter, this you?
Yeah, man, this me.
All right, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, another play I wanted to run by you that I forgot to mention. I was looking into tomorrow is ETRM. Do you think that thing's about to take off again or no?
ETRM.
Yeah.
ETRM. Okay, we haven't that. All right, so ETRM did a reverse split too.
No shot.
Yeah, ETRM, and I remember playing ETRM. I can see my results here on the chart. I actually played this short, made some good money on this too. But ETRM, I don't know what it could do from here on out. ETRM is a stock that I play only when it. I never can figure out when it's going to explode, but I can always tell you.
Right. I missed it, bro. Yeah, I just caught it, doing your show and going through my little stocks.
I can't tell when it's going to go. I can't tell when it's going to go up, but I can tell you if it goes up, it's going to come right back down. I mean, you can. Yeah. You can find throughout the chart. It
might drop tomorrow.
All right, throughout the chart on ETRM, you find that it was only up 9% today, so I wouldn't. There's nothing here for me, but this was a stock that I played short.
Take off
I played this short today, and it's not. It's not today. Excuse me, actually a couple days, but it's not. It's just no. It only when it spikes up, I like to play it, but. I don't like ETRM as because it can take too long in between spikes for it to happen.
Yeah. So tomorrow definitely probably be a red day then.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you it's for sure going to be red, but I can tell you.
Man, come on, man, you killing me. All these fancy indicators.
I can't tell you, man. But I can. All I can say is that it's a stock that if it goes up huge, which it does. I mean, when it goes up, it goes up. But I know it's going to come back down. So the short side is a high probability for gain, but I can never tell you when it's going to rise up again.
I know, right? Yeah. Damn. All right, man. That's all I'm around by you, cousin.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the call, man.
You got it, man.
All right. So, always when my long-time listeners call up, got to grab that call. Shout out to all the long-time listeners, long-time watchers. But anyway, SRRA, now this company is supposedly got a cancer drug in the works. All right. This is, again, a company that I really like because, again, it goes into my sweet spot where I believe, it has very, very little risk at these levels. Very, very little risk at these levels. Sierra Oncology. The clinical trials that they released about 10 days ago, they just began clinical trials on the next generation on their damage response. Let me see, what's it called? Damage response checkpoint inhibitor, something to that extent. But anyway, it's called SRA 737. You know how they all have these fancy words for the drugs they're trying to work on. But anyway, look up that recent news. There's a clinical stage drug in the works. Very low risk at these levels. I believe this could be that 133, 137 could be one of the lowest. And I got this really because I believe it could come back to retest this 160 high to kind of get back up to some winning ways again. But again, we're back to testing that low, that 52-week low that it made on early last month, which was December 2nd. All right, so we're back at that low. And I think if it maintains this price, I'm thinking we're going to retest the 160s level. All right, the ticker on that is SRRA. It's not huge volume maker, but it's something that you can sit on for a while and make it work for you. All right, that you can sit on for a while and make it work for you. All right, 313, you're on the air. What's up?
Hello. You have a collect call from
J-Boy.
To accept charges, please say yes or say...
Perfect.
All right. All right, so SRRA was that ticker. Okay, what else do we have here that I wanted to bring about to your attention? I don't see money coming in yet in BAA or in gold, period, but BAA is on my level. BAA, Amex play, 19 cents a share. They recently announced last week record 2016 production results on BAA. Again, you guys know I love these bottom charts. I love these bottom feeders, and here's the bottom on BAA. I really, really like this chart because we're back at 2016 bottom levels. All right, so we're back at 2016 bottom levels in BAA. I really like this. Banro Corp, 19 cents a share of stock. Putting an alert on this one to give you guys BAA as a possible... yeah, I'm getting jail calls. I don't know, guys calling me from jail or what. BAA to look at. All right, 19 cents a share on BAA. But gold suffered a really terrible day yesterday. Slight recovery today. In fact, where are we at right now in gold? Let me see here. I'm getting jail calls. Hey, if y'all watching me from jail, man, shout out to, all the dudes doing their time, man. Shout out to all the guys doing their time. If you're watching me, I don't know if they let you guys watch me in prison, but if you're allowed to, man, shout out to you doing your time, man. But fuck you if you're in there for murder or some bullshit like that, man. Go to hell. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, or child molestation or something like that, man. I wish death upon you if you're in there for that kind of bullshit. All right, so with that being said, let's see some other plays. Again, we had pullbacks in ENPH. ENPH. Let me see here. I think as ENPH, we had a pullback in ENPH. All right, still like it long term though. 919. This is Bad Scientist.
Hey Sal, how's it going?
Hey, doing good, man. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Very short call today. I've got 4 stock plays for everyone. Last time I was on the phone, we were talking about trying to catch early moves.
Yeah.
So I've been taking the time scouring the markets, trying to look for those early movers. So I've got 2 NASDAQ plays for you and 2 OTC plays for you.
Okay. What you got?
All right. So NASDAQ is going to be MCUR. That's M as in Mike.
Okay.
C as in condom, U as in umbrella, okay. R as in Ronald.
All right. So this is a stock that looks like it had a very tough 2015. 2016 as well. What makes you think that something could be occurring here? It looks like we're really depressed level.
So what's common between these 4 is movement, particularly maybe towards the end of the day. So this stock, there was a catalyst that was out today. It came later on in the day, and the stock in the last half an hour, stock price rose, and I think continued into after hours. So I don't know specifically. I mean, I can look quickly what the news was, but I just wanted to dish you guys my 4 picks. So that's the first one, MCUR.
Yeah,
the second one, which
15% gain on that stock. Real quick, I just want to give people 15% gain on that stock today. I did see the news about incoming or the data that on the ongoing, ongoing looks like study that they're going on some patients trial.
Correct.
And that came out mid-afternoon today. Got that stock up higher, 15%. That's MCUR.
Yeah. So if you see the price was pretty flat throughout the day, and then it just spiked at the end, which is also good going into like a continuation type of play. So that's Nasdaq play number 1. Nasdaq play number 2 would be URRE.
Okay.
Once again, there was a spike towards the end of the day. So I'm hoping to look for momentum going into tomorrow. Very good volume and play towards the end of the day. So that's something to look out for. And of course, we've all been trading this one way or another, or paper trading. So that's looking good. Okay, so those are the Nasdaq plays. The 2 OTC plays that I'm looking at right now. The first one is IMSCQ. So I as in insect, M as in Mike, S as in Samantha, C as in condom, and Q as in quiet. IMSCQ.
All right, let me pull up the 1-year chart. Okay, 1-year chart shows we're at depressed levels. I like that low probability for failure here. So not too bad at 8 cents a share here. What do you like about this one?
So what I like about this is, once again, end of the day, we had some green candles, I think, so if you look at the 30-minute chart, actually the last 4 30-minute candles were positive. That's what I like about it.
If I could pull up the 30.
In addition to that, okay.
Yeah, I see here the 30. Okay, so I got it at the 30-minute chart here. I do see, nice big candles too. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. So, but if you swing to the daily chart, notice that. So this is my classic play. If you swing to the daily chart, so I have my 4 and 8 exponential moving averages. So on the daily chart, it breaks the 4 exponential moving average, then it breaks the 8. It closes above both of those. The next milestone is the 20 that's above it. So if it can approach the 20 or close and break and close above the 20 tomorrow, the next milestone will be the 50. So right now it's about at 8 cents. If it goes towards the 20 moving average, it's going to be closer to the 9 cent mark, and then the next is the 50-day simple moving average, which is round about at 11. So I'm hoping to if we can get a green candle on this tomorrow with higher volume, that's going to be excellent. I would advise whoever's around to get into that, because chances are you'll at least get maybe a third day with a green candle.
Now, is this is this basically people kind of coming in because they feel that it's kind of bottomed out here and it looks like it could be making a reversal coming? Okay.
Yes, and what I like to do, if you go back on that daily chart to about November 17th, you'll see it had a similar run going up. So it had a 5-day run. So I'm just going on, future behavior is predictive of past behavior or whatever.
That's a good way to make money.
Yes. Yeah, so that's my first OTC play. And then the second one is EWLL. E as in elephant, W as in white, L as in lion, L as in lion.
Okay.
That's eWellness Healthcare.
EWOL. eWellness.
And that follows the same pattern as the one we just talked about, the IMSCQ. So once again, it had a fairly solid end of day spike, and that's on the 30-minute chart. Then on the daily chart, it broke the 8, the 4, and the 50 moving average because they're all kind of compacted. I guess the Bollinger Bands were pretty tight.
Yeah.
But it closed right at the 20-day simple moving average.
Okay.
So it looks like there's a reversal just based on that. But once again, tomorrow, I think if it goes maybe to 1350 or even 14 might be a good round number. If it can break 14 and continue upwards past that 20-day simple moving average, then that's going to be good. We already have two green candlesticks on that. The first candlestick was 275,000 in volume, and then today's was 561. So for tomorrow, I'm looking at maybe a 750,000 volume, maybe a 1 million volume. So let's just see what happens. And those are my 4 picks for today.
Appreciate it, man.
Or for today, for tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, out of all of them, I think my favorite is probably that IMSUC.
Okay.
That one is probably my favorite because this one.
Okay.
Because even though it's not high, then, I can see we're getting close to that 14-cent breakout where we need to really break in order for it to kind of keep moving higher. IMSCQ, the one you talked about before, I do love that because that's still way at the bottom there, and it falls right into where I love. I mean, low and beat up, and again, that sweet spot where we talk about very nice and low, and it looks like it's making that reversal higher. That stock foots right into the bill there.
As long as the volume stays in the millions, because it's just over 1 million today, if it can maintain that volume, even if it starts just creeping up slowly, I think what we wanted to do is for it to eventually look like. So I've got one OTC that still might be in play, but this is the classic pattern that we want, and that OTC play is, hold on a sec, let me bring that up. Is ELXLQ. E as in elephant, O as in orange, X as in xylophone, L as in lion, Q as in quiet.
Oh wow.
ELXLQ. Yeah, that's a beautiful chart.
This is what you're looking for right now in penny stocks, man. This is beautiful. This is exactly a perfect example of what you look for. I mean, beat up the press stock, right? Then you get in at these low levels and you just basically sit and wait. And sure enough, I mean, the change of the momentum, I mean, that's huge. That's what a gain there, man. What a gain there.
From 20 cents to 68 cents in 4 days.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so that's the pattern that at least most of us, you always talk about how do we get those early stocks.
Yeah.
So if you notice the volume is ascending, the second to last candle, there was a bit of a reduced volume, but the trend is still up and it's fairly parabolic.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at this. I'm looking at, October 15th, the stock went for 4 cents a share. And now, what it closed it today at 68 cents. That would have been a gain of 1,600% in 3 months, man. 1,600% in 3 months. That's absolutely incredible gain.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe this particular one is still in play for tomorrow, but that's what I'm hoping at least the other charts will look something like that. I'm not sure we'll get anything. URRE, I don't think will have this pattern, but definitely perhaps that IMSCQ that you really like, and maybe the MCUR. So let's just see. Who knows? But I'm going to definitely try to get into one or two of these tomorrow.
Yeah. Not bad on the daily volume as well. I mean, this is a stock that, again, in 3 months, a $500 investment would have net you $8,500 today. Wow. I mean, what a return, man. This is why I love penny stocks. That's great. That's great, man.
Yep. Well, Sal, I appreciate it, and have a great evening. Are you on tomorrow or?
Tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow I'll be off.
Okay.
Tomorrow I'll be back on Monday.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks so much, Sal.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the call, Bats.
All
right. So shout out to Bat Scientist. Thank you for the call, man. And, this is the chart. I love charts like this because when people say, why do you trade penny stocks? Why do you Dude, this is why. You tell me a stock right now on the NASDAQ, on the New York Stock Exchange that I can put $500 in, and 90 days from now, I have the possibility of turning that into a $8,500, deposit in my account. Show me a stock that can do that. Show me a stock that I can do that. All right. So I really hope you guys, love this stuff, because I think maybe sometimes spreading the time, giving yourself a little bit of time here will make it work for you. And I hope we showed you some stocks today that you can, take a position in. Again, you don't have to go in big. You don't have to go in big. I heard Mr. Lloyd today talking about $2,500, $3,000. Yeah, if you take that kind of money, the problem is that when you buy that many shares, when it comes time to sell, you scare people, man. You scare people on level 2 when you turn around and you try to sell that on level 2 OTC markets and you're dropping $5-6 million on one order. That scares the shit out of people. 636, you're on the air. What's up?
Hello.
All right.
Hey, buddy, cut your hair. Cut your hair. It ain't working.
Take a look at my enormous penis, and my troubles start melting away. I take a look at my enormous penis, and the happy times are coming to stay. I gotta sing and I dance when I glance in my pants. I end up feeling like a sunshiny day.
Come on,
Take a look at my enormous penis, and everything is going my way.
All right, so appreciate that. So let's get back to it. Man. And let's see here. A couple other plays that we looked at this week before we wrap things up. Because I know we went through a lot of tickers today. I just want to take a look at some other ones that were of interest. Is Rex Energy still doing pretty good? Tristan, I saw you asked about AUPH. Yeah, man, I was out of AUPH a long time ago, Tristan. Appreciate you joining us in the chat room today. Yeah, I was out of AUPH, but it's a stock that I do have an alert on. AUPH. Actually set at $3, so it's not anywhere close yet. But AUPH is another stock. Tristan, shout out to Tristan in the chat room. He brought this to our attention, and it made some really good gains for a lot of people. NASDAQ play, one of those type of plays you got to, it's very short term. Play it, win, and move on. But AUPH at the bottom levels now here, as I see. We're back at basically 2006 February levels here on AUPH. This is a 1-year chart that I got spread out here. Let's see here, the 5-day. 5 days looking really nice in the stock. 5 days looking really nice in the stock. But I like to spread the chart out just to see where we are in the bigger scheme of things. And this is the 90-day chart now. And looking at the 90-day chart, we're still at a pretty good price level here. All right, the 248 still pretty nice level for the stock at 248. AUPH is the stock. All right. We said, what's the name of the song? The name of the song, that penis song, I got it off YouTube. It's actually called "Look at My Enormous Penis." Look at my enormous penis. All right. All right. Okay, so yeah, that's the all right. Also a stock that came under my impression today that I'm going to be possibly taking a position in maybe as soon as tomorrow. Adamas Pharmaceuticals. NASDAQ play. This was a stock that let me see here if I can dig that up here. There it goes right here. This is a stock that failed a drug, an FDA drug attempt at an approval. All right, failed that attempt back in June. The stock has been depressed for very significant levels, but news came out today. That Adamas Pharmaceuticals had accepted the FDA's approval, for resubmission of their epinephrine syringe. All right, so they're going to be, this is the second go around. They're going to be, under review for the FDA for the company's new drug. All right, so this is a resubmission. This is their second go around in ADMP. All right, that news is out. That's on Yahoo Finance right now. Adamas Pharmaceuticals, ticker symbol ADMP. All right, 305 a share. Announces that the FDA has accepted for review the company's drug application for its epinephrine pre-filled syringes. All right, there it is right there. All right, and before then, things were looking really good. As you can see here, there was a lot of excitement that a possible approval was coming. Obviously, that didn't happen, and look what happened to the stock. So obviously, we see here if an approval could be granted, it looks like the potential windfall is really, really nice. It fell off the roof there at 864. We're at 304 a share right now. All right, ticker is ADMP. All right. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, again, the website for that Sweet Spot Investments, that's kind of where I got it from, sweetspotinvestments.com. It's a stock, privately owned, kind of mutual fund, private wealth company. And he talks about his style, which is sweet spot investing, which is basically buying bottom of the bottom companies that he feels that, offer the best potential reward for an investor. And, it seems to work because it works in penny stocks. Now, his style is more mutual fund based, so I just kind of take the theory and apply it to what I'm doing here at penny stocks, because the margin for error is so small. Because if bad news comes, the price, will suffer, but at a very lower percentage than what it would if the stock was significantly a lot higher. All right. And people say, well, how does this contrast to, value strategies? And the problem is that most value strategies basically seek to identify what is fundamentally cheap, right? Whereas people who do the sweet spot, investing, basically they're looking for what's been abandoned. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for what's been abandoned, right? So cheap can get cheaper, but when you have something that's bottomed, right, and has been abandoned or basically near the bottom, it's pure physics at work, right? Those who have already sold can't sell again. And if everybody's sold, if good news happens, then guess what? They've got to pay a higher price than what you paid. And that's how, you're able to get in at a very low rate and make it work for you. All right. And make it work for you. All right. So we're giving away a lot of tickers here. Let me put those out real quick. We talked about a lot of stocks today. Let me put those out. I really hope you guys learned something today. All right, Javier. Yeah, appreciate it, Javier. I'll be using your scanners too, man. I actually put like use one whole monitor for your scan, so I don't have to run another window of my E-Trade account. All right, because that hogs a lot of memory. Let me put these tickers out there in 1 second, guys. And those there are. Those again, some of them that are running now, some of them that are to be looked at in the future. All right, to be looked at in the future. And I hope you guys have you're kind of saving these, because that's basically what I do is I have an Excel file where basically I just post up, date of the show, stocks we talked about, and then, typically if I can get back and have some time, the prices they were at, and it's been incredible sometimes to see, when I just do that Control F, wow, this stock was up 30% today, and I do that Control F, and I'm like, damn, we talked about this stock 2 months ago when it was 300-400% cheaper than it was now. That's crazy. So it's been pretty insane. All right, we got one more caller here before we end the show here. 305, you're on the air. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Sal? This is Michael 91.
Hey, Michael 91, what's good, man?
What's up, man? I just wanted you to look at. I'm not sure if you looked at NVFY yet.
NVFY, yes. This is the furniture place. This is a stock that I played this earlier in the year.
It's been bearish for quite some time now. But I see that it hit like a very I think it's at the bottom. It hit like a very good support. If you pull up the 1 year chart, you could see that earlier in the last year, it was bouncing off of where it's at right now, and I see that it had a pretty good bounce today. So I mean, I don't know. It's probably something that could be making a bounce. Probably start consolidating in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just wanted you to check that out and get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, this was a stock I played earlier in the year. It's basically a Chinese kind of furniture play. They had gotten some products in Pier 1 as well as some lines in Walmart. They've got lines from anywhere from your entry level college kid furniture type stuff to your high end Nova furniture. So yeah, the stock ran up real high based on orders that they were sending out to some of the big box retailers.
I played it a couple times back then too.
Right. The hype basically ran out, and it kind of get back. So yeah, that support level is there at that 171, about 171. So yeah, man, I want to have confirmation over the next couple of days. If I get confirmation, and confirmation for me is if it starts to funnel right above that, right? It starts to funnel right above that, and we start having a price in between, that support level, and then maybe a momentary high where it just kind of funnels in between that, and then the bands start getting tighter. That's when I know, okay, we might start bouncing off this and going back higher. So yeah, Nova Lifestyle Furniture, good play there, good call on that one.
Why did it go down so much over? Why has it been bearish for so long now?
Well, I mean, sometimes when a young
company giving back all the gains.
Well, yeah, when a young company, when a young company runs for a very long time, and then all of a sudden gives it back its gains, and all of a sudden it gets a few contract wins. It gets some new investors, and those people aren't necessarily the most loyal because they weren't there from the beginning. They're basically playing the contract victory. They're playing the idea about orders from, places like Walmart or, whatever other large retailer. They're there just for some momentary gains, and then they're going to move on to something else. And that's basically what happened here. Is just, people who played these little victories, and then they're moving on to something else and selling. So as investors who feel like something could be coming up here, again, if you get it at a great price where we feel like the sellers have moved on, and there's not too much selling to be had after this, then yeah, you'll be sitting pretty if something else comes out and some gains are made.
Yeah, and as for EUPH, I think that's the one that we were discussing yesterday. Yeah, that one was had trouble breaking through that $2 mark. I was seeing that one today.
Yeah, EUPH. I think it was I think it was ENPH. You mean ENPH? Was that?
It was ENPH.
Yeah, It was the N-phase energy, right?
I believe so. I know. Damn.
I think you might be talking about N-phase energy.
Yeah, there was two that I brought up to you. It was that one and the I completely forgot. But yeah, you might be right on that one. It was probably that one. But yeah, it had trouble breaking that $2 mark.
Yeah.
I thought it was, yeah. So I'm just gonna keep my eye on that one as well. But yeah, NVFY, man. I think we should keep our eyes on that one as well.
Yeah, I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that too. ENPH was a stock that I had measured too. It was again trapped between 199 and 178, and it completely this morning fell beyond that 178 support. Tried to come back, but failed it, and eventually we're back at 178. So we'll see if it tries to make itself back up there and use it as support to climb higher. Man,
I mean, if it does, for a pullback too. It's been having a
yes, that's true. That's true. That was the third day actually. That was the third day of gains, and we know the third day is typically a red day where people start to take some gains, and that's in any stock that runs. Typically, almost I want to say it's almost over 50% chance that the third day, if you had too high, especially too high multiple digit first and second days, the third day is typically a pullback day, and that's exactly what happened with ENPH. But not bad for the stock. In fact, this is on a 4-day run. Looking at the stock here.
Yeah, it was on a run for quite some time.
Yeah.
And one more question, man. What's your take on using Fibonacci's?
I don't know much about Fibonacci's to say, whether it's good or bad. My thing about it,
man, I saw some videos on YouTube. This guy uses them, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I mean,
it was accurate a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if he's got a strategy, and learn that and let us know, man. Learn that and let us know. I mean,
yeah, I'm gonna look into that.
It's one of those things that it's a science in itself. You know what I mean? It's a whole other way to look at whether or not something could go up, go down, and identifying right prices and wrong prices.
And it's a strategy that's been used for years and years.
Yeah. So it's a science in itself. But yeah, man, if you can figure it out, let us know here and give us a call and teach us, man. I appreciate it.
All right, for sure, man. Good show, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the call, Michael.
All
right. So shout out to Michael for the call, man. Appreciate the call. Good call as always. Let me give Michael a bomb here. I'm giving one of DJ Clues a bomb. Shout out to Michael. Yes, indeed. So shout out to them for the call, man. So I really hope you guys have learned something today. I really hope you guys have learned something today. I mean, we got a lot of good calls, a lot of good things to learn. What's going on 3 Hooks? I want to look at 3 Hook stocks real quick. 3 Hooks talking about Buds. We didn't bring up Buds today. What is Buds going through? Buds is, again, I've talked about Buds here. It's not the, doesn't have the most incredible volume, but, you want to talk about loyal buyers, man. That's absolutely insane here. And Buds, as you can see here, since the 11th, which was last week, Wednesday, so that's what, almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 trading days so far. You've gone from a low of 186 to a high of 405. So you're already up over 100% in 6 trading days in BUDZ. All right, today was a sideways day, only 0.75% gained on the stock. But Bud's very dangerous though, man, because it's a very volatile stock. As you can see here, it's done some things, and the pullbacks are something serious, man. Look at that. It went all the way from basically to where we are now to, lost basically almost over 100% of its value on that retrace. All right. From 414 all the way down to 202. All right, you lost almost $2 a share there. You did lose $2 a share. So we're back at that possible breakout price in Buds. I'm glad I pulled up the chart here. As we can see here, that breakout is, what is that, 422? We're at 405. The ticker again is BUDZ. BUDZ for that breakout. So watch Buds tomorrow. In fact, let me put that on the list for tomorrow. So yeah, put that on you guys' list for tomorrow. DGLY, Digital Ally. Okay, so Digital Ally, security company and surveillance company, DGLY. Let me look at the 1 year chart. Where are we in the grand scheme of things? Okay, here. Okay, so all right, so that movement today, Digital Airline wins major legal victory in a court of appeals. All right, so huge win for the company on this legal okay, what's going on here? Legal announcement. All right, so legal victory for them. I'm not sure how that's going to last. I mean, how does that necessarily? I think it's going to be something you're going to have to read into, because how does that change? The business. Is this, do they get a new, do they reclaim a right to do something that they didn't have the right to do before? I'm not sure what that legal victory means for them, but that was basically the headlines in the stock 2 days ago. Looks like it has been having a good deal of momentum in the stock. As you can see here, really good day for the stock, 11%, starting today. So we'll see what that means for DGLI moving forward. All right. We'll see what that means for the DGI. What's going on, Raybo? MYHI, what was that? Mountain High Acquisitions, OTC. All right, Mountain High Acquisitions. Okay, obviously you can tell this is going through a pump. This is, again, another beautiful situation here. Again, man, when you, I can't tell you enough. Again, these stocks, when they get beat up, nobody wants them. There's nothing going on. And this was probably a stock I can almost bet you was out of compliance that came into compliance, and then they did a pump. This is why I love, USCI. For those of you guys who got, $200 to burn, $200, $300 to burn, right? Because look at this stock, man. This stock was sitting at nothing. Look, this was a stock December 19th, the stock was going for 2 cents a share, 0.0254 to be exact, 0.0254. All right, 0.0254, and now you're at what, 50 cents a share? All right, that's at 1,868% return on your investment in less than a month, in 30 days. 1,868% in 30 days. Tell me where you can get that kind of money on the NASDAQ and on the New York Stock Exchange. Playing only, $200, $300. That's an incredible return, man. I think you're a bit extended now. I mean, obviously, this is unknown territory for the company. As you can see here, the 52-week high is basically the day's range. So the day's range was 55 cents. The 52-week high is 55 cents. So you're in danger now. If you're in the stock, you're a bit in danger now. But that's why I love being in stocks before they do this, because that's where the money's made. Guys looking at this today and trying to jump in it now, at 50, I don't know where it could go. It could keep going up. All right. But, you had practically no risk down here. Now you have all the risk up here. You know what I'm saying? You got a ton of risk at these levels, because you see how fast it went up. It could very well go back in the other direction. All right. Yes, indeed. So, big day again tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Inauguration of Donald Trump. We'll see, man. I love his economic policies. I'm not a big fan of the man himself, but we'll see, man. We'll definitely see. It's going to be an interesting, 29 months, because he's basically got 29 months, 29 months, and then he's got to run for president again. All right. I can almost tell you right now, the Democrats are going to run Gavin Newsom out of California. They're going to run that guy. He's going to be the next dude for them. I can almost tell you, just the way they're talking about him. I'm hearing in the media, and stuff like that. So I'm going to call him now as the next probable nominee, or maybe even what's his name, Booker out of New Jersey. All right. I got something to do tomorrow. If it falls through, I'll be on. So tomorrow's kind of up in the air. So I'm not sure, but it's a great week, great shows today. Frank alone, I'm watching Dries. Yeah, we talked about Dries with that reverse split coming on the 23rd. I want to see what that does to the stock, whether or not that starts to excite things or, it just continues and extends the death spiral of DRYS. So we'll see what that 1 for 10 does, where it starts at. I mean, if that 1 for 10 raises the price up to, $15, $20, $22, forget it, man. They're going to shorters are going to eat that alive. All right. But the problem is that when you do a reverse split, though, you also do take off, a lot of the outstanding shares out there, too. So it makes it low float and supposedly even more low float than it is. And supposedly that's supposed to scare away shorts. But, sometimes the valuations get so high on the actual share of the stock that buyers even, decide not to move along with it. All right. He said, make Dries great again. That's hilarious. All right. So we'll see, man. We will see. All right. So again, thank you to all my callers today. All my callers, Michael 91, Bad Scientist, Treasure Hunter, A. Brantley. There was another guy who called up too. I forgot his name. Well, you know who you are. Appreciate your call, man. Thank you also for Michael. Appreciate that email. Still on the hunt for that. I'll find out how to get the tickers back on the charts here, so you guys can see it in the background. All right, I'll definitely find out about that, so you guys can be able to see every time what ticker I'm looking at. Because I used to have them in the background, and I darkened it. I can't remember how to turn it back on. All right. Appreciate it, Sinclair. Who's in the chat room right now? Thank you so much to all. Oh, man, we getting up here, man. Shout out to you. Hey, I don't know if some of you guys remember. We used to have I think when I first started, we started with 16 people, maybe. And we didn't even hold 16 the whole time. I think I ended with 9 people. And now here I am with 116 people, and we're only growing and getting bigger. So you mods in the chat room, you guys are going to become more and more important as these numbers come up, because I can't watch the chat room 24/7. All right. So good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Bat Scientist. Mario Martinez. 30 views, man. 30 views, 20 views. Londale, you said 50. Yeah, it was low. But we got it up there because we doing good shit, man. And people recognize that. And it's really because of you guys, man. I'm just a voice. And I'm just so grateful. I'm always, I hope you guys understand how grateful I am for the fact that you guys watch me and you call in and you give me your tickers. And, because I never thought people loved this as much as I do. All right. MAG3690. Thank you so much, Mac. Nikhil, Bad Scientist, Raybo, Londell Carter, Lennox John, Max 40, Omnifilm, Londell Carter, Hasham Hanan. Hasham, hey, didn't you go by another name, Hasham? I swear Hasham went by another name, man. Sky's crazy. Who else is here? Jamal Lewis, appreciate it. Good night, sir. Michael B, thank you. The beautiful Miss Montez, thank you. Franklin Joe, Cali Girl, thank you. Appreciate that. Who else is in here? SC Trucker, appreciate it, man. L33R4GG3. Stan Lay. Who else is in here? Jeff Thayer. Who else is Eric Looper? Erica Looper. What's going on, Erica? Richie Bahadrazan. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Innocent Uwagu. Appreciate you for watching, man. Jorge. Michael JR, of course. Ryan Gets It, man. Ryan Gets It. What's good, man? Nikita. Nikita, you saying KEGX filing for Chapter 11? Yeah, we don't really play the Qs around here. We don't really play the Qs. Javier Rogers, Thriller Ali, Investors Hangout. So grateful to you guys over at Investors Hangout, man. You guys know what it is. Connor Epps and Connor. Oakland in the house. All you guys, man. Appreciate it. New guys, old guys. Appreciate it. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow's a maybe, so don't expect me, but I might be here. Might be here. All right? If something crazy happens tomorrow, God, I hope nothing happens, but tomorrow's Inauguration Day. If something crazy happens to Mr. Trump tomorrow, I will be on the air. But hoping everything is smooth, but, a lot of people don't like this guy. I'm not trying to say anything's going to happen, Don't call the FBI on me now. Okay, I am not Black Lives Matter. I am not Black Lives Matter. All right, y'all motherfuckers, y'all know, you know what? Let me just stop before I incriminalize myself. Call the FBI on me for a terrorist complaint or some shit. No, we got a lot of white folks watching, so I love Donald Trump. Yes, make America great again. Make America great again. Yes, sir. Make America great again. All right. Okay. Yes, indeed. So, okay. All right, then I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I am out of here. Love you guys. See you when I see you, either tomorrow or Monday. All right, people. Take care.